What is going on, everybody? We are back from the dead, and yeah, it has been a long while, but you know what? I had a busy April, and I know Destiny's had a busy May, but we finally were able to squeeze an episode in. I am the BrettMan. This is Destiny. So, Destiny, how are you doing? Long time no see.
I'm good here.
Good. There you go. You are here, proud to be here. Great. And I literally feel like I came back from the dead. I've been sick all of this week, so I've been seeing people saying if I'm still sick. I am definitely on the upswing, so I do appreciate everyone checking in on that. But who else is here? Let's just check everybody who's here. Earlier, Brandon the Beldum says he or just became a member for 11 months. That is absolutely fantastic, Brandon. Thank you so much for all your support. Goodwill Hunting trying to sell their merch. Fuck those guys. Which I'll get to that here in a minute. Jeffrey Miller, what's going on, my friend? Good morning. How are you doing? We got Chad. What's going on there, Chad? How are you doing, my friend? We got Raymond. Hope you're feeling better. Feeling a lot better. Hopefully to go finally see a movie after missing the theater for so long. Who else we got here? Oh, there. Speaking of which, there he is officially. Brandon, good morning, my friend. We got Ashton's in the house. What's going on there, Ashton? We got Melissa's in the house. We got Horrorhead Heather. Heather, how are you doing? We got Mark Jones. How are you doing, Mark Jones? We got Chester's here. Man, we got a lot of people here so far. We got Robert the Wolfman. Good morning to you. We got Brooke in the house. Brooke, how are you doing? Hopefully you're enjoying your trip. Brother Fluff, what's going on there, Brother Fluff? How are you doing? And let's see here. And Courtney Reed, how are you doing, my friend? Glad you're feeling better for a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. And this really is not a super chat, but I just got uploaded a new video. So for anything that we kind of don't agree with something in the chat, or don't agree with, even with me and Destiny don't agree on something, there's one word to best describe it.
Shame!
So, so there you go. So shame on you, but no, Courtney Ray, thank you so much. So you weren't expecting that, weren't you?
No, oh my god.
I figure it's appropriate just to have it for Back from the Dead. It's just how much you love Modern Family. So, Courtney Reed, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, my friend. And I am doing a lot better. Davey Defray, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Davey, finally am working on Real Talk this morning. So, I'm going to get that episode released on Good Real for Tuesday. So, prepare for that. Davey, hopefully all is going well. Let's see here. Who else we got here? And that is it so far. Right now, we got 17 people, which we appreciate that. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. I know a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on. So if you're watching right now or after the fact, we appreciate you watching. And before we officially get going, I kind of alluded to earlier about the merch. Because the reason I mentioned that, I'm going to share this real quick. After this episode, Back from the Dead, I'm going to be opening up our Back from the Dead merch. So if you love this show and want to support this show, you can go ahead and buy something from the merch store here. After this episode is when I'm going to make all this public. You could get shirts, stickers, hats, mugs, and much, much more. That would be available again after this particular stream ends. And so just want to promote that real quick. And I think it's time for the show. So let's go ahead and start. Oh, real quick. Ryan, what's going on there? Ryan, how are you doing? So, yes, just in case if you are brand new here, Back from the Dead is indeed the show where we talk about the horror movie anniversaries, because the movies from the past help shape our future of horror films. So we can't go through all of them, because if we did, we'd be here for a long time. And I got a 2-hour time limit with Destiny, so it's written in the contract. So gotta respect the contract. So we are going to only for the kind of end of the years, ending in 9 and 4, and the integrals of 5 and all that. And we're going to be celebrating the movies from last year as well, because they deserve their roses as well. So with that in mind, Desi, did you have anything below the 70s? Or actually, I have one, but did you have anything below the 70s?
I had one.
Yeah, one. It's probably the same one I have from 1934.
I have one from the 60s.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice. So let's before that 60s one because perfect. So I got one from actually all the way back from 1934, and it's a little movie called The Black Cat. Have absolutely no idea what this movie's about. I'm going to assume it's about a cat that's evil and terrorizing people. But from the looks of the scores right here, the scores are very high, which got me curious to check this out later on. So, Desi, what about you? With all these numbers you see here, are you interested about this movie, or have you even heard about this movie?
Haven't heard about it. I might watch it. It depends on how long it is. Usually older movies are pretty short, but even with the short runtime, sometimes it's still like just because it's a complete different style of filmmaking that like I'm not used to at all. Most of the movies are so slow. So maybe. Like I talked about the Universal monster movies, like I have to watch these movies kind of spread out because it's all the same basically, but a lot of times they are pretty slow. And it could be like an hour long, but it feels like it's like 3 hours. It's like, oh my God. And I have a short attention span. Like I need something. So
Fast-paced movies.
yeah, maybe not right now though.
Yes, and I don't blame you because like that's how I felt like with Dracula. Like, God, this movie is.
Oh my God, I
way
just watched that. Yeah.
Did you what? Did you like? What was it? Just me, or did that movie just seem like it lasted forever and almost accomplished nothing towards the end?
Yeah, that was definitely another one. It's obviously so profound and everything. Like Dracula is great and all, but then you're watching it and it's just like, oh my God, can we speed it up a little bit? Can something happen? And there's some cool shots and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, come on. And yeah, that was a movie I was kind of like checking out of, and I was like, damn. Kind of gets hard to give these movies their respect, but it's like, fuck. Yeah, it was definitely a difficult one to get through.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And I love the actor that played Dracula. So I kind of felt like bad. I was like, God, this movie, but this guy's great. But
Of course, yeah.
yeah, so it's just like, dang gun, like older movies, if there's a way you can just up the tempo, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Heather says, a log that I've seen it on Letterboxd a couple of years ago gave it a 2.5 out of 5, but I don't remember it at all. Ouch. So, but yeah, like with the scores from what I saw, I'll give it a watch like for the Black Cat eventually. And Des needs a bunch of douche dudes running around.
Yeah, that's rude. That's literally not even true.
Yeah, damn it, Chad.
No.
Just starting your shit this morning so early on. Let's see. Oh, Davey makes a good point. Speaking of short run time movies that are difficult to watch, anyone seen Terrifier? Davey, behave yourself. Terrifier at least has something going for it.
I almost wore my Terrifier sweatshirt too.
You should have. Instead, you got your Chicago orange on right now. So
I do.
Damn it! I fucking knew it. Dadgummit. And just because I forgot to say hello earlier, Gory Tiger, what's going on there? Gory Tiger, how are you doing? And we got Gene is in the house. Gene, how are you doing? And the 22 people that are watching, we appreciate you all. So that was my only one below 70, and you say you found one from the 60s. So what's the one you found from the 60s?
I have one from 1964. Technically, this came out in 63, but this is the US release for this movie, and it is Black Sabbath. It's a movie I've not seen, but I've heard of it many times before. Has Boris Karloff in it. So, shout out to him. One I haven't seen, but I have seen like the poster for it, and I've seen it talked about before, so I thought I would mention it.
Nice. And I've heard about that movie. But I do have it on the watch list. But and Gene, thank you so much. I decided to break this out early before September. I was going to wait all the way to September. I'm like, no, today's a good day to bring it out. So I'm only showing these two because I don't want to show the third one just because you know what happens. So we're going to avoid that. So let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the 70s. And originally, I didn't have anything from the 70s until Destiny over the weekend brought up one. And this is the one that she had me watching. Yes, what we do, if there is one movie that the other has not watched, we will tell the other to watch that movie. And this is the one that she brought to my attention yesterday, and I had a chance to watch it yesterday. And that is a little film called The Brood. Came out on May 25th of 1979, so just barely a 70s movie. And I'll tell you this is definitely a 70s movie because it does not hold back any punches at all. And it has the 70s vibe all around it. And the part that made me nervous and I didn't know about until I started watching the movie, written, directed by David Cronenberg. And I'm like, this evil girl right over fucking here, because I am not the biggest David Cronenberg fan. The only one I liked is The Fly, or technically love, is The Fly. Everything else, David Cronenberg, like Crimes of the Future, haven't even gotten to his other films yet, but I will eventually, and I'm sure they're going to be just fine. But I'm not the biggest fan of his work. But The Brood, I'm happy to say I majorly approve of his work here because I thought it was a very intriguing story. And that's what really caught me with this film, like to tune it out for the rest of it. It gets very disturbing at times. It gets creepy. Like they create a great mood and atmosphere to this film. And I thought all the actors and the actresses, especially Nola, the mom, I thought she was absolutely spectacular. And the third act, I'm not even going to mention it because it's just one of those things you have to watch, but I'm scarred. It's just something that it's going to live rent free in my head. So thank you for that. But other than that, I absolutely really enjoyed this movie, and I'm really going to give it a 4 out of 5. So David Cronenberg, you count your days. You got one on me on this one. But Desi, have you seen The Brood, or do you have any interest in it?
I have not seen it. And like with you, like I haven't seen a lot of Cronenberg work, but I have seen The Fly and I did like it. But typically, like that style of like filmmaking, or like the body like mutilation, or like anything that's like body horror, it's not my thing. But I've seen pictures from whenever I was looking up research for this. I saw a picture of a scene, which I'm assuming is towards the end because it looks pretty graphic. And I was like, because this is a movie that I don't like the subject matter for. It makes me queasy. So I don't know how much I'm going to like rush. But I just saw it was like streaming for free. And I was like, hey, here's one to watch. Yeah.
You just want to see me and just to let you know whether it's okay to watch or not.
Yeah. But with kind of like what it looks like happens, yeah, I don't know if I'm rushing to watch this because I just don't like that kind of stuff. But yeah.
No. Yeah, as soon as I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have to warn her about this. So, yeah, take your time with it. But I will say it is worth a watch eventually because I thought it was really good. 4 out of 5 for me. And Brother Fluff, I thought the exact same thing, my friend. I thought she was going to have me watch a WWE wrestling match. I'm like, yes, this is going to be great. And then I saw written directed by Cronenberg. I'm like, fuck. It's not going to be that. So, but no, I, again, had a really good time with it. So, Desi, did you have anything else from the 70s?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. So, with that, let's go ahead and dive into the 80s. And let's see here. Who had that comment now? Yeah, Chester got a little head start on me. I love Firestarter from 1984. Funny you say that because that is literally the next one. Next one I'm going to bring up here is Firestarter with a very, very young child actor of Drew Barrymore. The anniversary was for May the 11th of 1984. If you're interested, it is on Netflix right now. So, Destiny, have you seen this? And if so, what did you think about Drew Barrymore?
I have not seen this movie yet, actually. I've seen the remake. And this is like, I wanted to watch the remake before I watched the original, because I figured the remake would be terrible. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And then I just haven't gotten around to watching the original. Every time I go on Netflix and I see it's on there, I'm like, oh, I should just watch it. And then I always watch something else, or I just don't. Or I put on YouTube, really.
Or Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to watch it anymore. I wasted too much time looking for something. So I haven't seen it yet, but I do want to watch it. I've heard mixed things. Like, some people really like it, some people think it's boring. But also, like, I just recently watched Children of the Corn, and I haven't seen that since I was a kid. And it kind of has, like, the same, like, sort of mix. Like, some people really like it, some people don't like it. They think it's boring. And I really liked it. So that kind of has encouraged me to push it further on my list, move it up some. So I need to get around to it. I love Drew Barrymore. And I haven't seen, because I also haven't watched E.T., so I haven't seen anything with her like that's like super young Drew Barrymore. So I need to get around to that.
No, you absolutely do, because I thought she was really good in this particular movie, because I thought that, like, with child actors, I always say with child actors, you're going to get 50-50. Either you're going to get the very best of them, or they're going to be an absolute nightmare. With Firestarter, I feel like they nailed it with Drew Barrymore. They got the great side of child acting here, and I thought Drew Barrymore is very, like, you feel very sympathetic for her throughout the entirety of this movie. She does a really good job just making you feel for her for all the stuff that she is going through. And for the time of 84, I thought the pyrotechnics of the movie was really, really well done for its time. So I was really impressed. So that's why when the remake happened, I'm like, yeah, no CGI. It's not going to fix it for you. So definitely preferred the original. And I do suggest you put it on your Netflix watch list for when you get a chance to go see it on a random day. Maybe even on a hot day. So let's see here. Let's see. Oh my gosh, shit. Let's see here. Davey says, I'm the Firestarter. Twisted Firestarter. Hell yeah. And there he is. Hey, yo, Adrian, how you doing? We're just talking about horror movie I was about to say universities, horror anniversaries, you know? So what's going on there, Adrian? How are you doing? All right, perfect. So did you have anything else from 84?
I do. I have one more movie. Again, I have not seen it, but I've seen the poster for it many times because it's on, like, it's either on Shudder, it's on Tubi, so it's like always streaming. And it's called Invitation to Hell, apparently directed by Wes Craven.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know that until I was looking it up. Like I said, I've seen the poster many times. It has a girl with a gun and she's like pointing. She looks like serious. So I don't really know what it's all about, but I'm interested because eventually I want to work through like directors' filmographies, like everything. So I definitely want to check this out at some point. But yeah, like I said, it's always streaming on somewhere for free, or if you have Shudder, it's on Shudder. I always see it though. Just have not actually watched it, but I'm curious.
Nice. And I didn't know that either. So yeah, that it's kind of funny that he released that one, and then like a couple of months later, and we'll address that particular movie in a November episode, he does a iconic movie. So it's kind of fun to get his little unknown movies out there. So great find there. Okay, we got two more people joined us here. Let's say hellos to them. We got Sebastian. What's going on there, Sebastian? And we got Gavin from Mud Nelson. What's going on there, Gavin? What's up? So perfect. All right. Brother Fluff says Invitation to Hell was yesterday when I introduced my girlfriend to my ex-wife. Brother Fluff, talk nice to people, damn it. Oh my gosh. So all right, let's go ahead and go to the last ever 80s movie I found, and this is from 89. And I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know, if you ask me what my favorite VHS horror movie cover of all time, like the slip cover and everything, this movie takes the cake on it. And that is Fright Night Part 2. If you've ever seen the VHS of this movie, like a picture of it, this is the most, I will say, the sexiest tape I've ever seen with the design and everything. It's just simple, clean, and smooth. I just love it. I love the poster and the VHS cover. But it does have an anniversary for this month, for May 19th of 89. I love the original, so I'm kind of terrified to dive into some of the other ones. Eventually, I want to get to the remake, but I definitely heard about this movie getting kind of like a special attention from some fans. But for me, I still have it on my watch list. So, Desi, what about you? Is this on your watch list, or were you able to get around to this movie?
This is on my watch list. I have not seen it. Mainly because like I don't think I've ever seen it streaming anywhere. So haven't watched it yet, but I would like to. I'm curious because I've seen the original. I really enjoyed the original. I've seen the remake like a while ago. Probably I was like 15 or something, and I have not seen it since then. But I remember enjoying it, and I watched it before I had seen the original. But I do remember liking that as well. So I need to go back to that. But yeah, have not seen this one, but I do want to. I do like the artwork as well. I think the all white looks really cool.
Yeah, and yeah, it definitely does. And some people are saying that they have not seen it. Gavin says I was going to watch it and watch the trailer. Nah. Well, sometimes, man, you gotta. Sometimes you gotta look past the trailer. But I understand the feeling of that. And plus, just that original, it's just so good. It's just kind of like why expand upon it. But I understand, man. So perfect. And Chester wasn't a fan of Fright Night 2 either. And Ashton's never seen it or the remake. I definitely want to give the remake a try because I think Colin Farrell will do a great job in that particular role. So I'm looking forward to watching that. But was he good?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. So perfect. Let's see here. Just reading the comments. Perfect. So yeah, anything else from 89?
I do have one more movie. Again, have not seen it, but The Return of the Swamp Thing. I have seen Swamp Thing. This is, I guess, the sequel to that. Have not seen this one, but I did enjoy Swamp Thing, directed by Wes Craven. I really, really enjoyed that movie so much. And funny enough, the guy that is the Swamp Thing, and that, hold on, make sure I'm not wrong and embarrass myself. Anyways, though, yeah. Have you seen The Return of the Swamp Thing while I look this up before I say what I'm going to say?
Yeah. And I got one word for it.
Shame!
No, just kidding.
What the hell?
I'm sorry. Happy trigger.
Okay, so yes, the man that plays the creature or the Swamp Thing in Swamp Thing from 1982 is the dad that's in Twin Peaks. And I'm only saying that right now because I'm watching it again because I'm making me wait and watch it. So yeah, I have nothing else to say about Return of the Swamp Thing, but I did really like Swamp Thing. Okay. And Darren Mears plays Swamp Thing in the show, and he's also in The Return of Twin Peaks.
Okay. So let's see here. I owe a 20 to a friend because I betted on you. It would take you over 30 minutes to mention Twin Peaks. So here you go. No, I'm just kidding. But no. So that's awesome with all the facts, especially how you watch a show and now you're seeing some of that show getting mixed in with some of these movies. So that's always awesome to see. So that's awesome. And I'll definitely add the Return of Swamp Thing to my watch list because I did like the original Swamp Thing. I had a good time with it. So definitely going on the watch list.
Yeah, I definitely want to check it out as well.
Hell yeah. And did you have anything else from 89?
Nope.
Perfect. So we're just skimming through here. We're doing great so far. So let's go ahead and go to the 90s here. From 1994, I'm sure we're going to skim past this one pretty quickly because I think we've said plenty of times already about a particular franchise we haven't really gotten into yet. But, we still got to acknowledge it. So the first one, real quick, is going to be Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, was released on May the 6th of 94. And, again, haven't gotten into really dive deep into this franchise yet. I've only seen the original. But I do eventually want to, spend a weekend or something to catch up on this franchise. Are you kind of the same way?
Yeah, I still have not watched anything because we just recently talked about Phantasm because that came out in 79, I believe. And so we just talked about it recently. I'm like, no, haven't seen it. Still have not seen any of them. I still want to, though, especially because there's a lot of people that said they liked them and they said they liked the second one more than the first one. So I want to check them out. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
And I especially want to get into the second one because I'm hearing a lot of people love the second one kind of the most because I'm assuming much more goes on. But yeah, eventually I want to dive into that franchise. So I'm with you on that. Gavin says he could not get into Phantasm, and Horthead Heather wants to give her Fright Night ranking real quick. So let's get this a go real quick. We got number one, the OG, 5 out of 5. The remake, 4.5 out. Nice. Then she's got part 2 out of 3.5 out of 5. That's a good star. Part 2 remake from 2013. Yeah, I remember that. 2 out of 5. Yeah, I remember that poster, and that did not intrigue me very well. So Heather, good looking out for us for which ones we need to check out. Let's see here. And see here. Never seen Phantasm movies, and I've only watched the first one. All right, so we're kind of alone on that field there. So I wanted to get that out of the way before we talk about one of the big guns for today's show. And originally, I was going to actually see if you wanted for me to pick this movie for you, but you actually got around to it. So I'm very interested to hear your fresh thoughts about this. And that is The Crow, released on May the 13th of 1994. Everyone in the horror community absolutely loves this movie. I've hardly seen anybody dislike this movie. I understand they dislike some of the circumstances that happened in this movie, which it is very unfortunate with Brandon Lee, but if we can try to look past that, I know that's hard to, especially if you've seen the Curse episode on Shudder. But other than that, this movie is absolutely spectacular. Desi, I want to get your fresh thoughts on this since you've seen this not too long ago. What are your very fresh thoughts about The Crow?
Yeah, this movie had been on my watch list forever. And I just kind of kept pushing it off just because of like the circumstances around it. But with the new one coming out, and I had watched the trailer for the new one, and I was like, okay, I really should watch the original so I can have something to, kind of see. Like, I mean, obviously the way Bill Skarsgård looks, I don't like the look of him in the movie, but I wanted to see like why everyone was so mad, or why a lot of people were so angry. Besides, just them making the movie in general. I was watching it and I was like, you know what? After I finished The Crow, I was like, you know what? That trailer, I don't think it's really doing a disservice to the movie because, like, in my opinion, I did give the movie, I think, 4 stars. I'm pretty sure. And a lot, like, okay. Some of that was just, for Brandon Lee himself. Rest in peace. Some of the movie, though, I don't think ages very well. Just because of like the graphics at the time.
Oh, so talking about the intro?
Yeah, like a lot of it I just don't think really holds up. And honestly, I was expecting it to be a lot more like I was expecting to feel like a lot more like heartache and like angst in it. And honestly, I don't really feel like I got that. Even like with the line, like it can't rain all the time. Like in my head, because I knew that was an iconic line, but I had no idea how it played into the movie or anything. And so in my head, I had built it up to be this such like powerful, like heart. I don't know. I was just expecting so much more sadness from this. Like I was expecting to cry watching this, and I didn't get that. And I'm quite emotional. I cry over almost everything. And so there's something I did feel that was missing. I know, Gavin. I freaking know. Shut up.
Yeah, I was about to say careful. Like, Gavin, I can press the button if you want me to, but I'm trying to not overuse that button here.
Look, do I think it's a good movie? Yes. Do I think it deserves like the respect that's given, considered like what happened? Yeah. Do I think it was as amazing for me as it is for a lot of people? No. But maybe if I would have watched this whenever I was younger, I would have liked it so much more. I do have a jacket for it, so like I do like it, and I like the whole like aesthetic for it. Like I like the way it looks, and I like that dark, like gothic, like tone throughout the movie. Like I do love that so much, and I understand like that does look like it's missing in the new one, which does suck because I do love that. But yeah, and is it one that I'm going to go back to a lot? No, because it is still it still has like that like sadness to it, but I was just expecting more. I was really expecting to like bawl my eyes out, but I didn't, and that's what I wanted. So I think it was missing some of that, considering like what the movie is about. Um, you know, his bride to be gets murdered, and like even more than that. But she's murdered, and he comes back, and he's like avenging. But like I don't know, like I just felt like something was missing with that part. But yeah, I did like it still though overall.
Nice. And I loved it, but what I first heard about The Crow was actually through wrestling, because if everyone who's a wrestling fan in the chat or listening, Sting, the popular professional wrestler who recently retired earlier this year, he got his whole like gimmick, his whole like everything with the character of Brandon Lee of The Crow, with the paint and everything. That so I actually thought at a point The Crow was copying Sting. But then I actually learned that Sting actually copied with The Crow, which again, for the time in the 90s, that was very smartly well done by Sting. But the movie itself, and yes, Melissa, I kind of agree with you. That's kind of why it's not a perfect film, that the movie is a little slow at times. But I thought with it being like part action, it would kind of have a quick and enough pace to it. So I kind of agree with you there, Melissa. But yeah, other than that, the movie I thought was absolutely spectacular, because I feel kind of like the grit, kind of like it has like a gritness to it, like with the main character. You kind of want the character to succeed in his plot for revenge. You kind of feel sad, kind of like along with the surrounding characters too, because not only was The Crow, I'm trying to remember his name. I know people are going to kill me right now. Trying to remember Eric. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, it's not only just about Eric's sadness, it's along the other characters that kind of got affected with the passing of Eric and all that too. But I thought the action scenes, I thought some of the cinematography, like with the Fire Crow, I thought all that was great. So yeah, I had a really great time with it. But I had a question when you were talking about like it was missing something and made you want to feel kind of like more sadness. Do you think The Crow will actually work better as a 70s movie versus a 90s movie?
I mean, no, because like I do like the 90s-ness about it. Like I like everything about that. But like Gavin's comment said if they had more time to flesh out the relationship, and unfortunately what happened. And I do believe that, because it does feel like there's something that is not there. And I kind of chalked it up to being something like that anyways. Obviously, when your lead actor dies, things are going to happen. Like the fact that they were even able to finish the movie at all, I think is pretty insane. Considering like how they went around some of the stuff and how they kind of pulled it off. But it does feel like it's missing something, and it makes sense as to why, considering, like what happened. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I think a lot, like everything is unfortunate surrounding the movie. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I highly like, if you're a fan of The Crow, I highly suggest watching. And I'm trying to remember the name of the show. Curse Films on Shudder. They
I
have
did watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad. But so, like, if you're a fan of The Crow and kind of want to know more, or if you're not a fan of The Crow but you kind of want to know more about it, that is a great episode to watch, in my opinion. So I say give that a watch on Shudder. Let's see. And Gavin said it's sweet when he's looking for the ring at the shop and he closes. Oh yeah, because he's got that bigger power to him. So yeah, very good scene there, Gavin. So
one more thing I will say with people's like complaints, again, from like watching the trailer, because the first time I watched the trailer for the new one, I had not seen The Crow, and then I watched it, and then when we were watching The Strangers, we got the Crow trailer, so I was like, oh, I get to watch it again after seeing the movie. And like I know people are comparing it to like John Wick, which it is pretty actiony, but also like when I was watching the original, I was like, oh, there's literally a scene that's very similar to that. It's shot differently, and it does definitely feel more John Wick style in the way it's shot. But I was like, he just showed up here too, and he's shooting these people and jumping around and stuff. I was like, oh. So there's like, I just felt like with some of the complaints for the trailer for the new one that I heard people saying when I was watching the original, I was just like, well, that is kind of here already. It just does feel like a little bit different, but it's still in this movie. So yeah, I'm not coming down as hard as like I maybe was. Again, the look actually drives me crazy because it's Bill Skarsgård and he would look so good with long hair, but whatever. But I'm more not like excited, I'll say, but I'm not going into the new one as like hesitant as I was originally, But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, and I honestly, real quick, I don't have a problem with the trailer or like anything they want to do with this remake. I understand why a lot of people, and I even saw Raymond say he's not even going to watch it, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
But like a friend of mine once told me here, that don't mark it until you watch it, or like don't hate on a movie until you actually watch it. So you actually like, do you really actually hate the movie, or like do you have actually something you don't like about it and you can actually talk about it? So that's why I'm going to give it a watch. I actually thought it looked really good. From me and Brad's trailer reaction, we were really digging it, so we're absolutely going to give this movie a try. Is it going to be awful? It very well could be, but you know what, let's give it a try.
Hey, I love The Strangers, and I said, whoa, all this new stuff for this new Strangers movie looks terrible. And I went in, and it was terrible. But at least now I know it is. At least now I actually know it is terrible. So, and now I can hate on it entirely because it was not great.
Exactly. No, see, exactly. So that's why I say give it a try. And again, if not, that's absolutely like that's just your choice, and we respect that. Let's see here. Oh right, okay. He's clearing it. Like I'll watch it, but only if people I trust tell me it's good. So yeah, again, we'll see. I believe I think this film got got pushed to August or September. So it's coming around like early fall. So that's when it's coming out. So let's see here. And Jorge agreed. Bill is hot, but he could have been hotter. Gosh, I'm not going to get into that. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Gavin. August the 23rd. Yes, I figure it was around August. So August 23rd for the remake. And we'll get a comment before we move on here from The Crow. I quite don't understand the blowback on the new Crow movie. I'm not super protective of that character, but it just looks like it modernized the story. Yeah, exactly. And plus, I feel like, sorry, last comment. I kind of assume that the remake knows that it cannot surpass the original. So it's like, instead of trying to copy it, why not just try to make a film of its own identity? And that's something you have to do if you're trying to copy or try to make a remake off something a lot of fans have like a kind of like a appreciation and love for. So that's why I actually like this approach. And me and Davey actually talked about it on the Real Talk episode about like Davey gives like credibility to doing something different with the movie. So that's why I'm going to be optimistic about it, but I'll go see it, and what happens, what happens. So, oh, it can't be worse than Wicked Prayer. That film is bonkers. I'm going to. So, yeah, I heard the other ones are not quite. And that's the other thing. Sorry. Keep figuring out stuff. What did you think? What do you think about this? Like, a lot of people like give shit on the remake of trying to make it its own thing. And then after The Crow, they made like 3 other movies. Are they not going to acknowledge that they made movies right after Brandon Lee? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I haven't seen them, so I don't really. Yeah, I mean, they did continue like with some stuff, I guess. I don't even know what the stories are about. I do know one has Edward Furlong. Maybe that's the one Heather's talking about. I don't know, but I saw pictures and it looks absolutely atrocious. And I was like, y'all did that? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about those, so.
Yeah, no problem. I was just thinking here, but yeah, that is a lot of Crow talk there. Anything else you want to say about the Crow before we move on?
No.
Perfect. Let's see here, and that was the 2 films I found from '94. Did you have anything else from '94?
I do have 2 more. Both I have not seen, but one is Night of the Demons 2.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the original. and I like that one. And another one is called Shrunken Heads. I only mention this because I see this like shown with like Elvira's like 13 nights or like whatever she did when she like showed some of the movies. I think this is one of the movies that was shown by her. Have not seen it. These movies are kind of not very great, the ones that she would show on TV. So I don't know if I'll ever but I do think Adrienne Barbeau is in this one. I'm pretty sure I saw her in the cast, and so I was like, huh. And she was in the Cannibal Women and the Avocado Jungle of Death, which was also done by Elvira. So maybe it might be a secret gem, just like that one was. Maybe. Yeah. 2 I have not seen, but I do really enjoy Night of the Demons, the original.
Nice.
And the remake also starring Edward Furlong.
Oh gosh. Perf. Awesome. So let's go to 99, and the only one I had, and this is the one that I had you watch for your first ever viewing. And this one actually surprised me because it has one particular actor. So I thought you would have already seen it, but then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, we're going to have to capitalize on this opportunity. So let's go to 99 with a little movie called The Mummy with Brendan Fraser's The Mummy, the first one out of that particular trilogy. Rumors are right now that they are looking at doing a fourth one. Not sure how they're going to do that, but we'll see. They're rumors. But this one was released on May the 7th of 1999. Solid scores all around. So Destiny, I am very curious. What were your very first thoughts about The Mummy with Brendan Fraser?
You know, I did really enjoy this movie. Some of it, again, I don't think it ages very well, but some of it I did think aged quite well. I feel like this must have been a movie I had to watch as a kid, but if I did, like, I don't remember anything about it, but I feel like we owned it. Like, I remember seeing the cover for it, and so if I did watch it, I don't remember anything about it. And the only thing I was even remotely familiar with The Mummy was I saw the cast because everyone talks about how hot the cast is, which, yes, they are. Except for the brother, but you know what I mean. Absolutely. So yeah, cast is hot, of course. Brayden got me to ride the fucking ride at Universal.
Okay.
I remember hearing the things, but I blacked out during the ride, so I didn't see anything around me because I closed my eyes because I was so scared. But besides that, like, and I knew the line, "You must not read from the book." That was it. So everything else I was really not familiar with. And so watching the movie, I was like, oh, this is a lot of, I agree. She is.
Yeah, she was stunning.
She's like I said, the cast, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, oh my God. Stunning. I was like, ah. So you get to watch them for 2 hours. That's pretty amazing. But, I feel like, and I was thinking, I was like, would I have liked this more if I was a kid? Probably not, because I didn't really like movies like this as a kid. I definitely think I appreciate it more now than I would have liked it as a kid. I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. I thought, honestly, I would have liked it more. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't like it as much, but I am excited to watch the second one because I also have not seen that as well.
Yeah.
I do remember one time at Goodwill, though, this is a side note, because I had found both of the first 2 movies on VHS at Goodwill, and this man, I'm holding him, and this man walks up to me, he's like, you know you have 2 of the same movie, right? I said, no, I don't. And like every time I think about that movie, I think about that because that pisses me off. Because first of all, why are you talking to me? And second off, you're wrong, and I'm right. And he was an old man too, so like, don't approach me. First of all, that's weird. Second of all, the fact that you are so bold and so wrong is just embarrassing. And then he continued to try to talk, and I was like, "That's exactly." It was mansplaining for what to be wrong. So that point aside, I just think about that. Because I'm looking at The Mummy Returns right now. It's sitting right here, just thinking about that dumb man. But I did like the movie, and I think maybe with more rewatches, I'll like it even more. Just because, like, going into it, I wasn't fully like sure what to really expect, but some of it was definitely pretty like gross. With the bugs that go into.
Oh my God!
Because there's like there was a Criminal Minds episode where he was making them think that there's bugs in their skin, and like in Silence of the Lambs where he thinks there's bugs in his skin. Like that is something when I knew that was a possible thing, I'm so scared that's gonna happen to me someday. And like I'm gonna freak out and think there's bugs in my skin. So seeing those move in there was so gross. But there's definitely parts that were pretty like spooky. Obviously it's not really like horror. It's very much just like action adventure. But there's those moments that was like scary. Yeah, I liked it. That was fun. And I think I'll like it with more rewatches. But I don't know how often I'm gonna rewatch it.
Yeah, and I that's what got me worried when I assigned this movie to you, because it is more towards the action adventure side of it, and I know you can be, I wouldn't say judgment, I'm like kind of like this ain't my taste. Okay,
I am very particular. Like even I feel like I watch a wide variety of movies, but even with that, I'm still very selective. And like there's just certain movies that, like, even though I know I need to watch them, I keep pushing them off because I'm like, ugh, do I really want to watch that kind of movie? So I am pretty judgmental, I would say.
Yeah, so that's why I am terrified with The Mummy Returns for you, because they double the action, double the adventure and everything. But I still think you'll have a really good time with it. So I definitely still suggest you to give it a watch. And talking about like what you said earlier, how some of the effects don't hold up. The villains in that movie, yeah. You'll know when you'll know when you'll know.
Is that The Rock?
Yep, that's Dwayne. That's the one.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, and that's actually the character I'm referring to. Once you see him in the movie, you'll trust me, you'll just know. You'll be like, oh my god. But with the Mummy, though, and I agree with you. I think the more you rewatch it, the more appreciation and likeness you'll have towards that movie. But 3.5 is a terrific start, in my opinion, with that movie. But for me, you alluded to, I watched this as a kid, and I absolutely fell in love with I'm pretty sure it was this movie that brought me my love. Kind of like what Brendan the Beldam said with his Egyptianology. It's not really that for me, even though I love Egyptianology. I think it's so fascinating with the rituals and everything, which actually that could be a cool question here in a minute. But just this movie is what brought my love for actual mummies, of why the Mummy is my favorite, like, of the Universal monsters. It's all because of this particular movie. And I thought Brendan Fraser and Rachel, they were great. Speaking of another hot character, Allah Sunanon, I thought she was absolutely gorgeous in the flashback, not when she gets bring back, but in the flashback scenes, I thought she was stunning. And yeah, and the movie is just absolutely it's a great adventure movie. There's not really a dull moment for me in this. And I think the effects still hold up for the most part. They hold up to today's age. So that's why I have a better appreciation for this movie. And then speaking of disgusting with you with the bugs and the skin, for me, is when the Mummy kisses Rachel. I thought that was absolutely disgusting. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, his jaws like falling down. That's teetering in the line of like, oh, this doesn't look great. But I think like there's parts where he's like the full like mummy like walking around. I was like, that really does not look that bad. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like 99 to 2000. They were just playing with that technology before they really mastered it. So I figure like with more time, which I'll tell you this, Mummy Returns, they did not master it just yet. But no, seriously, though, The Mummy, I think it's absolutely fantastic. The third one I haven't watched, but I haven't heard a lot of good things. So if they want to do a fourth one, hey, if Brendan Fraser, we do whatever that man says. If he wants to do a fourth one, let the man do the fourth one. But I agree with someone in the chat saying that they better bring back Rachel if they do a fourth one, because that is what was missing in the third one.
Yeah, you need her back for real. Mainly so I can look at her.
Yeah, absolutely agree on that. So, and my cool question here, because again, Egyptianology, there's a traditional custom for when you pass, you get some of your favorite items in your tomb. So, what would be some of your items in your tomb that if you have to carry to the afterlife?
Oh my god.
All those DVDs behind you, your
No.
collections, or what would you bring?
I would bring a stuffed animal my dad made me.
Oh,
I guess this picture frame Brayden gave me of us. And then, damn, this is hard.
yeah. Put you on the spot there.
My Scream UK version VHS, the white one, because that's the coolest one.
Oh, nice.
And then, damn.
Yeah, just need more time to think on that one because like I'm with you. Like I wouldn't even know what to bring, and plus there's not like really a limit. It's just whatever you can fit in your tomb.
Yeah, and my pen, because no one else can have my pen, because it's mine.
Oh, so there you go. See, chat could be kind sometimes, but so before we move along here, with me it's simple. I actually, I need a lot more time with it. I guess I would just get like one item that represent each of my best friends, something from my mom, something from my dad and brother, and then that'll be it. So there's so much crap. Like kind of like you, I'm even surprised you were able to say some things because I would have absolutely no idea what to bring because yeah, that's just a tough decision and I need a lot of room. So
Yeah.
but here, let me get a couple more hellos. We have more people enter the chat here. Gotta get Jamie here. I showed her comment earlier, but official hello, Jamie. How are you doing? Hopefully all is well. We got the mantra. What's going on there? The mantra. We got Danner Banner here. Hey, BrettMan, looks like to me you're on the wrong side of the river. Well, I have all the horses there, Danner. So
I have the camels.
Yeah, I had all the horses and the camels. Yeah, well, you're on the wrong side of the river. Fuck. So that was a hilarious scene. And then Ben Graham, how are you doing? Ben saying the Mummy is a 5-star class. I'm not there yet. I think it could in the future, but I think I gave it high as like a 4.5 out of 5. But really, that's Letterboxd. So really, it's like a 4.25 out of 5 for me with the Mummy. So let me see here. I think we're good there. So Destiny, is there anything else from the 1990 that, or excuse me, 90? Oh, and real quick, sorry, because I deserve this because you mentioned the ride at Universal, and Brayden told me not to tell you if you asked, so I have to do this button for myself.
Shame!
Yeah, so shame on me. I'm sorry.
Literally. Oh my god, I could have actually like fucked him up. I was so bad.
No, I know that's why he told me. It's like don't if she asks, just don't tell her. I'm like, I think you really should, but okay.
No, honestly though, he played me and it was hilarious because he did it like everything that he did was the right way to pull something like
this
he pulled it off, and I respect him for that. But like,
don't ever do it again.
oh my god, I could have actually like tackled him. We would have probably been kicked out of Universal though. No, I could have done that after Jurassic World because after Jurassic World, I was literally like, and I almost started crying because I was like shaking. I almost started crying, and then we get on the fucking Mummy after that.
Oh my god!
So like, I was even worse than that because that's a real roller coaster, which I don't like roller coasters at all. And him getting on his phone to distract me because he knew it would work because I'm nosy. And I was just completely unaware that because all the signs around say like high speed roller coaster. And I missed it because he was on his phone and I was watching him on his phone.
Oh my god.
And then he tricked me onto a roller coaster.
Oh god. And I promise you, just since I kind of was in on it, I owe you one roller coaster ride of your choosing because I hate roller coasters too.
Yeah. Never again.
So be thinking about it. So let's see here. All right, just reading the comments here. So yeah, anything else from 99?
No, he is a good man, but also look at his. I have to pull something out that's so elaborate and good. I need
Spiders.
No, well,
You could just get a big rubber, there's like a
No.
trend on TikTok I've been seeing.
That's
It's
not
like
good
the rubber snakes with the string and all that. I would say spiders could be something.
It's not good enough.
Actually, you could be like this, like, you afraid of spiders? You afraid of spiders on strings? Oh my god. So anything else sorry, we'll finally get to it. Anything else from 99?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. And a quick comment from Jamie here said, my husband tricked me onto the Hagrid's Wild Ride at Universal, but by some coworkers, he hates roller coasters. That was hilarious. Oh my gosh. I actually want to ride that one because that one looked like a lot of fun.
That one?
Hmm?
I'm trying to see. Okay, what does this
It's
look like? Oh, hell no. I'm looking up every single ride. Now, for now on, I'm looking at every single ride because I will not be played again. I would not ride that. Just from one picture I saw. Absolutely not.
Oh, come on.
I rode the little kiddie ride, though, in the Hollywood one. It's also a Harry Potter one, and it's just when you go up and you gotta, like, spin around a little bit. I did ride that one. I did not.
Oh, that's like the Transport Porter one.
Yeah, and I had to close one eye, actually, because I also have, I have motion sickness, too, which sucks. And so I had to close one eye during the whole ride. But I did do that one, and I would do that one again, because it was like a little kid ride.
Nice. So, hey, we'll train. He'll train you up, but let's see. And Heather loves roller coasters. Cedar Point is where it's at. No, that would be me and Destiny's absolute worst nightmare.
Yeah,
because all it is roller coasters.
And I know people like that feeling of roller coasters, and Brayden's like, "That's the good part." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I don't like, though. That's what I hate. I hate that stomach drop. I don't like the adrenaline rush. Like, that's like what I don't like about planes too, is the takeoff, because it gives you that same feeling in your stomach. Like, it literally feels like it's gonna fall through your butt, and you're just like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." I hate it. It makes me sick to my stomach. I don't like it. I know some people love that, but I'm just like, no, absolutely not. I hate that. Yeah, I like feeling normal.
I'm used to the roller coasters in Dollywood now because, again, I still don't like roller coasters. Yeah, fuck you, Chad. But I still don't like roller coasters, but I'm used to the ones in Dollywood where, so if someone says, "Hey, you want to get on the Tennessee Tornado or the Eagle Fly?" I'm like, sure, I'll do it. I'm not going to like it, but I can at least do it and try to have a good time with it. But if it's a random roller coaster on a Never Park, that's when I'll get concerned. So that's actually one of the things I'm kind of scared about Universal coming up later this year for me.
Yeah, Gavin, I also hated the teacups. I rode the teacups at Disney, and I was like,
what? Oh, come on.
I mean, they didn't scare me, but I didn't like them because I was so, nauseous.
Oh, It's a Small World scared me.
Spinning around, that is awful. I hated that.
No, It's a Small World scared me just because of the song. I was like, "Mom, get me." I was a kid, but now I'll be like, "Mom, get me the fuck out of here. This place is giving me the creeps." So, all right, just checking the comment. I think we are good there. So, ready to go to the 2000s?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's go to the 2000s, and there's one from 2004, and this could be a good little revenge here on Braden here, because I know he really likes this film. So let's pop it up here. It is Van Helsing from May the 7th of 2004. Not as good numbers. IMDb probably is what kind of is the saving grace for the rating system, if you call that. But for me, I started watching this sometime last year, just randomly. I'm like, "Oh, Van Helsing on Peacock. This should be interesting." I watched a good 30 minutes of it, and I was already playing Mind Crush or something on my phone, or doing something on my phone quick versus watching the movie. And I was playing on my phone, and I'm like, "Oh shit, the movie's still on. Okay, yeah, I better turn this movie off and put on Top Chef or something on in the background as I'm on my phone." So I need to give it a rewatch just to finish it before I could give a full opinion on this movie. But from the first 20 to 30 minutes, yikes, not kind of what I was expecting out of it. But what could get me excited, you know how Lee Winnell is kind of slowly doing the Universal monster movies, with the Invisible Man and the Wolf Man. imagine him doing all that and doing like a modernized version of Van Helsing. That could, to me, be a very intriguing kind of like mini universe idea. But Desi, what about you? Have you seen Van Helsing? And if not, have you at least heard about the character? And do you like the character?
I have not watched this movie because this is like, I said it before, there's like a certain, in the 2000s, there's like these certain movies that I'm just like, ugh. Like the look of them really just like this and like Underworld and like Silent Hill. There's like certain type of like movies when they look a certain way. I'm just like, damn, I don't really want to watch that. So I haven't gotten around to this. I mean, I've heard of the character just through like other Universal movies, but I have not watched this one on its own, and I'm not really rushing to watch it. But seeing some people say they like it, that's good. It's just like something about the look of these movies. I'm just like, I just don't like. I cannot force myself to get into, but I'm sure I will have to watch it at some point. And
Oh yeah, especially Brayden probably will make you watch it eventually, because I think, from my understanding, he is a fan of that movie. So that's why I'm going to at least try to give it another rewatch, just to see kind of like what he sees, and what Jamie, pulling up her comment, just to finish it for Jamie as well, just to see like if I actually am missing something. So and yeah. That's I was trying to think of the actors there. Hugh Jackman and Kate Beckinsale is in this movie, but I like Kate Beckinsale more in The Underworld than I did in Van Helsing. So
I liked her in Vacancy. I just rewatched that the other day.
Yeah, she's so good in that movie. Let's see here. Yeah, look at Kate Beckinsale looking all fine on that cover. Well. Okay, well, let's go back to it real quick. You can barely see her. She's so blurry on that. It's just, yeah. I like, sure, the outfit, but like, I need a close up. So let's see here. All right. Oh, and look who's here. Blu-ray. What's going on there, Blu-ray? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well, and you're fighting those addictions to Blu-rays. So Desi, did you have anything else from 2004?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and go to 2009. I'll go ahead and pop up two movies because I'm sure the first one we won't really talk about as much, but the second one of the ever highlights of today's episode. But the first one being The Grudge 3 was released on May the 12th of 2009 by the ways of DVD. So this even didn't get a theatrical release. So that kind of safely tells you what to go ahead and expect from this movie. Why did we even get a third movie within this particular franchise? Can't even begin to tell you. Even though I do need to visit The Grudges 1 and 2. I do need to watch those movies, and hopefully I can add those to my October rotation. But yeah, that's The Grudge 3. But the main one I'm talking about, one of the main ones to start this episode, Drag Me to Hell, released on May the 29th, which let's see here. So 3 days from now, you can enjoy the anniversary of this movie. Great scores all around, especially the Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 92. That's really impressive because I thought they would rip this movie to shreds, but they absolutely adored this movie. So, Destiny, do you adore this movie as much as kind of like the critics do? Or are you kind of like around what the audience score is of 62, which is just okay? Or do you not like this movie?
I just like this movie. I remember watching this probably like around the time that it came out, maybe like in 2010. So I watched this as a kid, and I remember the throwing up scene, and this movie made me so nauseous watching it as a kid. I gagged a couple of times because it's very gross. And this is like before I really could put together like who's like directors and like who did what. So I was not aware this was Sam Raimi. So, and like Evil Dead, I don't even think I knew what that was at this time. Even like I couldn't tell you like, oh, Sam Raimi did the Spider-Man movies. Even though I'd seen all the Spider-Man movies, I couldn't tell you who directed them or anything like that because I was fucking like 12 maybe. So I was not aware of anything like that. But watching it, I just remember how gross it was. And I watched it, I don't know, maybe like definitely more than that. Maybe 8 years ago. So I haven't watched it in a while. But yeah, I just remember how gross it was. And I remember the ending. Because the ending has some balls. And it has Justin Long in it. Justin Long pops up. But yeah. Pretty gross. Definitely a gross movie. It's just not a fair movie. Has a very downer ending. Pretty shocking, but yeah.
Yeah. Like the ending is the main thing. That's false. There's two things I remember about Drag Me to Hell. I need to give this one a rewatch because I almost forgot a good portion about this movie. I only remember like the first act, and then like of course the last scene where the girls literally getting dragged to hell. So they actually completed the title of their movie. But the thing was this: the possessing goats. Like, what the fuck was that? That's where I remember saying, what the fuck is this shit?
But, yeah, I do remember that scene. It's pretty out there.
Yeah, so I guess that's why people like this movie, because it kind of probably remind them of Evil Dead 2 at that point, because, in Evil Dead 2, it's like that deer mounted on the wall just laughing his head off. So I guess that's where they got that inspiration from. Plus Sam Raimi, so that makes a lot of sense. And yes, Justin Long is in this movie, but I don't think from my memory, he was in it a whole lot. But yeah, just another check mark on Justin Long having terrible luck in a horror movie.
Yep.
So, but
yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I was like better from becoming a walrus or something like that, like losing a girlfriend. So, I mean, what would you rather do?
I don't want to be a walrus. Like I said, I have a weird skin. I would rather you kill me than turn me into a walrus or into anything. If you have to cut my skin off and just end it or let me do it myself, because I'm not enduring that.
And Chad actually said it perfectly. Justin Long may be the greatest almost final guy in horror history. I could probably absolutely agree with that statement.
So close.
So close, yes, so far. But yeah, that is all I have from 2009. Did you have anything else from 2009?
Nope.
Awesome. So let's go. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure what StreamYard is doing. So let's see here. All right, we got 3 movies from 2014. Oh, go for it.
Are we going to talk about The Grudge 3?
We can if you want to. I just assume you never saw it.
I did see this.
Okay, stop me.
One time, and all I remember looking at the cast is actually quite impressive. It does have Shawnee Smith in it. I don't remember how much of these people are in it, but Shawnee Smith is in it. The girl that's in the opening of the collection, she's in Easy A. She plays Melanie Bostic. She's in this movie.
Okay.
This guy that I think was in Scream 4 that plays Trevor, maybe. Wait, no, I think he's yeah, okay. He is in Scary Movie 4. I got the guys wrong. He's in Scary Movie 4, and he plays the son in the World of the War part of the movie.
Oh, yes.
He's in this. But also, the only person I remember from this movie is Matthew Knight is his name. And it's because he was in My Babysitter's a Vampire, the short-lived series that was on Disney, I think, which I was obsessed with, but I had a crush on him as a kid. He was in this movie, and I will spoil something. He dies. And I remember being like, oh, they killed my crush. So even as a kid, my crushes did not survive horror movies. Because I'm almost positive he dies. I think he gets his neck snapped. And I was like, and that's all I can remember is that the boy from My Babysitter's a Vampire was in this and that he died.
Oh my gosh. So in the nutshell, would you suggest The Grudge 3 to me?
Probably not.
Even with Shawnee Smith, because I do love
I
Shawnee
do remember
Smith.
it being bad. I remember it being because it takes place at a hospital. I think I remember there being a lot of white walls, and she's crawling around, and I thought even she didn't look that good. either. And I was just like, honestly, yeah, I was like, what the fuck, dude? But that's really all I can remember besides him dying is like, even then thinking like, oh, this isn't that great.
No.
So probably not.
So poor Shawnee getting stuck in a movie like that. They must have found a picture or something. But let's see here. Floodbuster Tony, what's going on there, man? Saying the American Grudge movies are ass. That kid screaming like a cat still scary though. Are you talking about the one from The Grudge or the one from Scary Movie 4 with the open flame on his hand? That's the other thing.
I also have not seen the Grudge movies in so long. I do want to rewatch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was just never seeing them in general, so that's why I'm interested. So yeah. And you might know this better than I. Teresa Palmer was in it, right?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Oh, she's in The Grudge too.
Oh, okay. So awesome. So
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, so her and Sarah Michelle Gellar's in too, right? Because I always remember the commercials, but I just never seen the movie.
I don't think she's really in it that long. Sarah Michelle Gellar in the second one. I don't remember, but I feel like she wasn't in it very long. I think it's mainly the first movie, but yeah, I really don't remember almost like any, like what I really remember from the Grudge movies is what I remember from Scary Movie 4.
Me too.
And that's pretty sad. So I definitely want to give those a rewatch because I know Braden was terrified of The Grudge.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want definitely give it a rewatch.
Oh, well, see, there you go. We're already thinking of revenge tactic already. Okay, sorry. We'll cut this out. But let's see here. Anything else with The Grudge 3?
Mm-mm.
All right. And Ashton told me shame after just skipping on it when you wanted to talk about it, so we know what that means.
Shame!
Sorry. So,
Sorry.
all right. Sorry. Oh my gosh, chat. I was just about to do it, but I just wasn't going to do it, so I'll just let you do it. Mitsubishi Yamaka.
Terrible.
That's all I remember. Wasabi. Oh my gosh. God. Now I want to watch Scary Movie. But all right. So now we're ready to go to 2014.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So let's go to 2014, and I'm not sure. I think it's called. And guys, correct me in the chat. Is it called the Jamestown Massacre? Have you heard about the Jamestown Massacre at all?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so you kind of already know what movie I'm getting ready to bring up here, and that movie is The Sacrament. This is a Ty West movie that I think more people need to, I'd say, give it a shot. It's not the perfect movie or anything like that, but it's just one of like Ty West's earlier films in order to get him rolling, like to get the ball rolling with his career. So I thought this was solid. So like if you're interested in that, and a movie I'll bring up too, as well as a movie called All Cheerleaders Die, was released on May the 8th of 2014. And with All Cheerleaders Die, for me, I actually watched this because I was just so bored that day. So I was just putting on a random movie just to see if it stick. The idea sticked with me, but like everything else about it just to me was poor execution. I'm sure a short budget really didn't do him any favors. So again, thought the idea was cool, but I just thought the execution just was not there. So I'd say skip All Cheerleaders Die, unless if you like kind of like horror movies and cheerleaders like mixed together, along with like a little witchcraft. But The Sacrament, though, very disturbing, and I thought it did the best job it could to interpretate the events of the Jamestown Massacre in such a unique, kind of like you could even consider this movie like a found footage flick. So I thought it was a solid movie as well. So Destiny, what about you? About The Sacrament or All Cheerleaders Die?
Yeah. So it is the Jonestown place. That's where it happened, was Jonestown.
Oh, okay.
But I have not watched this movie, but I've watched a lot of videos about like the whole ordeals, and I'm very like interested. I don't want to say okay.
Like did Bailey Sarrington do an episode on this?
I think maybe, but like I watched true crime for like a while. Like it's kind of like all I watch before I start watching like horror stuff. And so I've watched like stories about this, and I think cults are very just like it's crazy. I think cults are absolutely insane because it can happen so fast. Like it literally, you can be like already sort of like brainwashed within like a day. It takes like hours to kind of like lure someone in, and I think that's wild. And so something like this, especially when there's like a massacre, you know, because not all the time does it end with something like this, but when it does, it's crazy. And I haven't seen too many movies that kind of covered like true crime sort of stuff. I usually stay clear of them because sometimes I don't like they're not handled in the best way. Like I saw like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which of course is different, which I love the ending of that movie. Obviously very different. That movie made me cry. And I watched the Ted Bundy Zac Efron movie, which also made me cry. So like sometimes I think they're done in a way that is like respectful and not like gross. But then there's like movies like The Haunting of Sharon Tate, which don't ever watch that because like that's like a disrespectful like true crime type of movie. So they're not always stuff like I jump to when watching like reenactments of it. But this one I am kind of curious about. Hopefully it's not done like super in like a nasty way. But it's Ty West, and usually I think Ty West handles things pretty well. So that has me interested. Yeah.
Yeah, and what about All Cheerleaders Die? Have you like heard of that movie?
I have seen this one, and I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I have seen this one. I remember kind of watching it, and then I watched a movie called Tamara, which is like a 2000s or like maybe a late 90s, but I think it was like really early 2000s, sort of like it was I cannot remember her name, but she was married to Channing Tatum for a while. I think her name's Jenna, maybe.
Here, I'll look for you.
In it. But like something happens and you know there's witchcraft involved and she comes back, and then so whenever I was watching that, it kind of made me think of All Cheerleaders Die. But there's a lot of that movie I just don't remember. I remember Jenna Dewan, thank you.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
And I actually really like this movie. It was on Tubi. It still might be, but I did like that one. But All Cheerleaders Die, there's not a whole lot that I remember about it. I remember not thinking it was very great, but I remember thinking it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever seen. It was kind of fun at times. Other times I think it really dragged down. But it's like a witchcrafty type, teen, girly type movie, which I thought was pretty fun.
Nice.
But not great. And not very memorable.
Yeah, it's that like the only memorable fun thing is just like the little witchcrafty stuff they do like to get the ball rolling and all that. And that's why I thought it's like, oh, okay, this movie has me interested to finish this out. And then after that it's just like, yeah, okay. Like, so you're not missing much, but I definitely say The Sacrament, you all should definitely give it a watch if you feel comfortable in watching it. Let's see here. And the other one I had, this ain't really a movie. This is just like a cool little like what would you describe this as? Like a series, a show, or with the best horror movies? Actually, here, let me just go ahead and pull it up. And there you go, get a better visual. What I'm talking about is the 50 best horror movies you've never seen. Would you just say this is just a countdown show?
Yeah, it's kind of like the 100 scariest movie, whatever type of thing, where it's just down. I do remember watching this, but I don't know if it's in parts or if it's all in like one full. But I do remember watching this because I like to go through these and just kind of like make a list of the ones that I haven't seen to kind of get through them. The same way I did like with like In Search of Darkness, like the documentaries, to add like the ones you haven't seen. I love things like this, even though like I feel like a lot of times it's like this is like movies you haven't seen, and then it's just like a John Carpenter movie, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So I feel like sometimes it's not very like actually like niche as like In Search of Darkness is. Yeah, it's just like a documentary type of thing. Yeah, just a little countdown. But I love them. And I think they're just fun to have on the background, just watching anything that's kind of like this. It's just nice background noise. And it's fun to see people talk about movies.
Yeah, that's what I like about those, like these particular kind of documentaries, is just getting someone else's different thoughts and opinions on certain horror movies. And I even looked on Letterboxd, because there's actually a Letterboxd list for all these. If you don't want to watch it, which I still imply that you do watch the documentary, because I think it is just like Desi said, it's the perfect thing to have on in the background if you are like doing like a chore or something like that. But I found this list kind of interesting, folks, because a lot of these I have seen before watching the list. But like you said, there's some of them where I actually put it on my watch list. Like, for example, like Halloween 3's on here. I thought everybody would have heard about Halloween 3, so I thought that was pretty shocking. I actually heard about Castle Freak for the last drive-in before watching the documentary, so I thought that was cool. Tourist Trap. But then there's other like hidden movies that I've never heard about, but I want to give it a watch, like Brides of Dracula. Let's see here, what else we got? The Fury, the Dentist. Yeah, I kind of tuned off because I hate anything that falls with the mouth. Prophecy. Like, there's a lot of interesting movies that I would say will at least have you consider putting it on your watch list. So, just checking the comments. Perfect. So, anything else from 2014?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and go to 2019 here, and then we'll finish up with the last year of 2023. And let's see here. We got a couple of movies, so I'll mention like at least like two at a time here. So let's go with the first two here, with a movie called The Intruder, with Dennis Quaid, right? That's because I always okay. I almost said Jack Quaid, but no, that's from The Boys next month. But Dennis Quaid stars in this, The Intruder, for May the 3rd of 2019. It's on Hulu if you are interested. And another movie I'm interested in is this movie, We Have Always Lived in the Castle, released on May 17th of 2019. Plenty of places to stream this movie if you're curious about this one, which I am when I read the synopsis and for the two lead actresses that are involved, but I have not seen either of these two movies. So The Intruder, I can't give you much thought about that one, but We Have Always Lived in the Castle, I'm interested due to reading the synopsis and with the two lead actresses. So I definitely want to give that one a watch here soon. And it's just to see what all the fuss is about with some of the mixed reviews about it. So, Desi, what about you? Have you seen The Intruder or We Have Always Lived in the Castle? If not, do they go on the watch list?
I've not seen The Intruder. Honestly, I don't really care to watch that. But We Have Always Lived in the Castle. I'm a little intrigued by the cast because Taissa Farmiga, Alexander Daddario, they're on the cover. Sebastian Stan.
Oh, shit.
Crispin Glover. So you got some people in here that's like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And it's kind of like those like gothic-y, like old-timey sort of looking, like, it very much reminds me of like Hill House, like Bly Manor, like that style of like, because they're also based off of, I think it was, who wrote it? Shirley Jackson. Whoever also wrote The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, okay.
Also wrote the story I'm assuming this is based off of, because it's the same title. It's that same sort of like haunted house type thing. And I do kind of like those movies. I'm seeing Raymond saying it was boring. I also feared that because I feel like sometimes, yes, like even reading like A Haunting of Hill House, the book wasn't that great. I don't think, well, I liked it, but it was still kind of boring. Or like Turn of the Screw, different author, but it's also like Bly Manor is based from that. That was also kind of not great. So sometimes these older, because they're, again, it's like older. Mm-hmm. And like I feel like if you don't capture the atmosphere, it's just like, ugh. You have something like Hill House, which is capturing that, even though it's more modern, but they're capturing, you know, that old vibe of the house. It really captures you. Or watching Bly Manor, which is, you know, 80s, but still it's capturing that feeling of like the gothicness of the house, you know? And I love it. And you have great characters. So if you have something that's like this, but not like the characters maybe aren't as captivating, and I don't know. The cast has me intrigued, but I haven't really heard anything about it. But like Letterboxd doesn't have like the best reviews on it, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I remember when it was added to Shudder, and I was like, huh. And I did remember seeing it in someone. I can't remember. Like, if you look on Shudder, they have like guests that like pick their favorite movies on the app or whatever. And I remember this was on someone's. I cannot remember whose, but it was on someone's like favorites, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I will check it out at some point.
Yeah, well, I definitely am going to now if somebody on Shudder is suggesting it, because I trust anybody from Shudder saying you need to watch this movie. So it's definitely going a little bit more higher on my watch list now, because again, like you said, with the cast involved. So I was kind of wondering, like, why is there being mixed reviews with such a solid cast in the movie? So is it like director direction? Is it story? So I'm very curious about it now. So yeah, going on the watch list. So let's see here. So let's bring up two more movies here. This one never really heard of until I did research behind this one, and that is a little hidden movie called Zilla and Zoe. I'm not sure really what this is. I just thought the poster kind of looked intriguing, and it has a audience score of 83. So that's what really intrigues me as well. But I'm not going to pay like a $4 rent just to like go into really something like, yeah, I'm not really too familiar with. So you could just take it as you will. And then this one, Brightburn, I actually saw this one in the theater because, again, along with kind of like All Cheerleaders Die, this movie had a very interesting idea of like an evil Superman. Let's just cut to the chase. It's an evil Superman. And at this time, they were thinking, oh, we're going to do this awesome universe where we're just going to turn all of our superheroes evil and all that. So let's start off with everybody's classic superhero of Superman, and let's turn him evil. What would it look like if he were evil? And there are a lot of good like gory effects into this. I do remember that, but other than that, though, kind of movie is forgettable. I just remember like one particular gore scene in it, and Elizabeth Banks is the star in this movie as well, and I thought she was just okay. So what about you, Des? Have you heard of either of these two movies of Zilla and Zoe and Brightburn, or do they go on your watch list?
Have not heard of that first one. I don't know. Not rushing to watch that. Yeah. Brightburn, I have heard of. I've seen the kill count for it. Have not seen it though. So I do remember like some stuff about it, but yeah, I've heard like mixed things about it, which the idea of it sounds so good. And like from what I remember, I'm like, oh, that looks really good. But then I hear some people being like, oh, well, who knows if I'm going to like it or not. Got some mixed reviews going on. But I do want to watch it. I do like Elizabeth Banks a lot. I think she's great. Loved her in Modern Family. Love her. So I think that's pretty cool. But I haven't watched it yet. But I do want to give it a watch at some point. The other one, though, I haven't heard of. Never heard anyone mention it before, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm not going to trust that 83 if like the general audience is really not talking about it, because you think like if someone on Killer Flicks would have already brought it to the attention or something like that. So I'm just not going to bother with it. So, real quickly, Jamie has a birthday week this week. So it's my birthday week, people. The best gift would be for you all to smash, slash, and trash that thumbs up, heart, like button. So, Jamie, happy early birthday. We'll be sure to wish you a happy birthday on your actual day as well. But nothing wrong with wishing you a happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy early birthday, Jamie.
Yeah, we hope you have a great week. So everybody in the chat, do your thing. Wish her a happy birthday. So let's see here. I got two more movies left for 2019. These ones are a little bit more well-known. So the first one we'll go one at a time with this one. So the first one here is The Perfection, and this is available on Netflix. This has Allison Williams in it. If you don't forgot who she is the crazy white bitch from Get Out. So if that helps you remember her. So she's in this movie. Was released on May 24th of 2019. Kind of disappointed was the audience score for 56%, because I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very well done. And speaking about the mummy earlier with the bugs and going through the skin and all that, yeah, this one has a similar scene to that as well. But I'm not going to tell you anything further because I don't want to spoil. Actually, this is the one I don't want to spoil the movie. I want y'all to go into this movie as blind as you can. But it does have it has a lot of creepy, unsettling scenes within this movie. But the big thing I remember is Allison Williams. This is where she Get Out. She won me over, but this one, because she doesn't have like the Jordan Peels or anything like that surrounding her. This was like almost in a way kind of like her film, and I think she knocked it out of the park, and she won me over as a fan. So, Destiny, have you seen The Perfection?
I have seen this movie, and I enjoyed it a lot. It's very like crazy. Like you said, you're just like, whoa, what's happening? Because you don't ever really fully know what's going on with it. Allison Williams, great. Because like you said, she's like definitely, this movie really focuses on her. And she's great in it, along with your other lead. They're both great. Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, because it is one you should go in like as just blind as possible. Because like I remember just seeing it on Netflix, and I saw she was on it. I just wanted to watch something. I don't remember it being very long, so I was like, okay, I'll just give it a watch. And I remember just being like, what the fuck is going on? This is way crazier than I expected, but I really enjoyed it. The ending is also very like, ugh. But yeah, I like this movie. Yeah, not one I would watch a lot, not very often, because it is very like, it's just way darker than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll go ahead and skip it because I can't, like, again, we want you to go in as blind as you can with this, because that's the best way to view this particular movie. But Allison Williams, she was awesome.
Yeah.
And Heather says, I watched The Perfection and had to immediately rewatch it the next day. Great on a rewatch. And see, I think it's time to do a rewatch because I still have Netflix for the next couple of days. So I might give it a rewatch here within a couple of days. So definitely will do that. So awesome, Heather. Haven't seen The Perfection yet. Added it to the catch-up list. So there you go. So ketchup is better on everything, but we know it's watch list. So just giving you a little bit of a hard time there. So, and then the last film I have for 2019 is a little film called Ma that was released on May the 31st of 2019. This stars Octavia Spencer, and this is, again, just in case if you forgot who she is. I think some of you all actually know her, but just in case, she was the nurse that died in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. They got that brutal knife stabbing. That's Octavia Spencer for you. And I thought she was absolutely spectacular in this movie, being the star crazy lady and doing a bunch of crazy things in this, and especially one scene in particular, which I'm also not going to reveal because I want to get your all's reactions to that one particular scene that she does something extremely crazy with. So yeah, I thought this was just her movie and everybody else is just there. She's the reason you watch this movie. It's just, I think I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5, but mainly the 3.5 is due to Octavia Spencer. So what about you, Des? Have you seen this movie, and what did you think about Octavia Spencer?
I have seen this movie. I think she's great in it, although like some of it, like I listened to the Podmortem episode and they were talking about it, and they really point out a lot of stuff. I'm like, yeah, that is kind of true. Like I remember the first time watching it, I didn't necessarily like it as much as I thought I was going to, but I do think she is great in it. She's obviously the lead. She steals the show. I just think a lot of it surrounding her isn't, and even some of the stuff like her motivations, I'm just like, oh, again, this movie's a lot darker than you think it would be, especially like when you find out kind of what happened. It's very just like gross and it's hard to watch. So you like, some of it I'm just like, well, yeah, what did you expect? Come on, don't be awful. But some of it's just like, oh man, I don't really like that. So yeah, it's kind of like a movie that I think is like, it's okay. Is it like a popcorn type movie? Sure. And is that fine? Yeah. Like, I don't think it's really anything that's like that. There's definitely a moment in this movie that the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe that just happened. And I love that part. I think it's hilarious. But yeah.
Just to get a little context on, is it have to involve a bedroom?
No.
Okay, then we're thinking of different scenes, because I thought for a second we were thinking of the same scene.
But I think overall, like, it's not one that I really watch all that. You know, exactly. Mid-level Blumhouse movie. Like, it's not top tier level of anything. I mean, besides, I think Octavia Spencer, like, she is amazing in this. Like, because she plays a character so well, even though, like, again, some of the stuff she's doing, you're like, but her herself, like, she plays it so well. But, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, I was thinking of 7 Else, but
yeah, I don't think it's, I also don't think it's terrible. I think it's a fine little time.
yeah, like I wasn't disappointed when I spent money on this in the theater, because Octavia Spencer, if she wasn't in this, I would have walked out. So she's the saving grace in this movie. So if you enjoy Octavia Spencer, and I know I probably say her name a lot within this particular segment, but she's worth it. She's a wonderful person. So let's see here. Just checking everything here. Did you, Destiny, have anything else from 2019?
I do have one more that was not mentioned, and that is the movie Satanic Panic.
Okay.
This movie I've only seen once, and let me get her name. She's in Happy Death Day. She is Malcolm. Wait, no. Hold up. Hold up.
Wait a minute. Let's see here.
You have, what's her name?
And
Ruby
then
Modine is in this one. And her dad is Matthew Modine. Okay. I knew it started with an M. He plays Papa in Stranger Things, and he's also in Wrong Turn, The Foundation, but Wrong Turn movie. But she is in this, so she's also in Happy Death Day. I thought she was so much fun in this, and I think this movie is a pretty good time. Oh yeah, it is also just called Panic at Walmart, not called Satanic Panic, because they're losers and fucking wouldn't call it Satanic Panic, so it's just called Panic, which is kind of also hilarious. Jerry O'Connell, my bad. Jerry O'Connell, he's in this. He's pretty, like, over the top. He gets pretty gross from what I remember, but he's pretty funny. It's just, like, when he gets to play these characters, like in Piranha as well, where he's, like, over the top and nasty and just, like, weird, it's just, like, he just steals the show. So every time he's on the screen, I'm like, you can't take your eyes off him, because he's just, like, what are you doing? He's pretty funny. Jeff Daniel Phillips is in this. Don't really remember that. That's kind of crazy. I need to rewatch this one, because I do remember it being, like, a lot of fun. It was so much, like, I went into it pretty blind. Didn't really know anything about it, and I remember having a really good time. Fun, dark yeah, definitely.
Nice.
So I definitely, this one's pretty good. I need to give it another watch. Great Double Feature, Ready or Not. You know what? That makes sense.
Fucking rich people with not tipping.
Exactly.
So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that to my watch list for Satanic Panic. So I'll get that ready to right here in a minute. So I hate Walmart.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, come on. But that's just like when Hobby Lobby stopped selling Halloween stuff. I was like, okay, come on now, because it's not with their morals or whatever. I'm like, well, y'all sold it for so long. All of a sudden, y'all don't support it? Like, okay.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
But whatever. So, yeah, sometimes I'm just like, y'all are crazy. Let's grow up a little bit. Like, that's not going to make someone, like, sacrifice something because they see the word satanic. Also, like, they sell Bibles at Walmart, right? I would imagine.
I would assume so. Like, if
it's in there too, we're fine. Everything's good. Written by Grady Hendrix. He's done.
I must be the worst speller because of the fact that I'm trying to type in the word satanic and it's not coming up on Letterboxd. So I must just be a bad speller. So, but I am going to add it to the watch list. So because all that sounds amazing. It sounds like right up my alley. So we'll I'll definitely add it there. So, and that was it for 2019.
Yep, that was the only other one.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and finish out this episode of Back from the Dead from 2023. The movies that came out last year, and I only really had two. I've seen one of them, and the other one I have not, but I definitely want to, or at least watch both of them. So, but the first one I've seen last year was a movie called Influencer that was released on Shudder on May the 26th. So actually, happy anniversary to Influencer today. So happy anniversary. So if you want to support this movie, go ahead and do it on Shudder. And then the other movie I had here, if it will pull up, there we go. The Wrath of Becky. This is the sequel to Becky, and it was also released today too, and it's on Paramount Plus right now. So hell yeah! So 2 anniversaries we're celebrating today, actually, when we're doing this show. With the Becky movies, I have not seen any of them, but they are hot. They are on my watch list. I definitely want to get to them because I heard Becky is an awesome character, and she does awesome killing things in that movie, in both of those movies. So want to watch that eventually. But with Influencer, you can say I was influenced a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I thought the movie was just okay. I thought the main girl, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she kind of like has something on her face, and I thought that was like a character thing, but more looking into like the actress, it's like some condition she has, and I think
it's a birthmark.
Or like a birthmark. So yeah, and I really respect her for that. Like I really do. So like that actually made me enjoy the actress and what she was doing because she feels that comfortable about herself. And she's also in the It's a Wonderful Knife too, for a little bit too, that particular actress. But the movie itself, I thought it was just solid. It's just one of those like one of these crazy people that wants to be something and tries to do everything she can to do it. And I thought the movie was just okay. So, Desi, what about you, Vo? What about Influencer and The Wrath of Becky?
I haven't seen The Wrath of Becky. I haven't seen the first one either. So I need to give those a watch. They're on my watch list, though. Influencer I did watch, and I remember liking it. I gave it, I think, either a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5, so I don't think it was anything too amazing, but I think both the lead actresses were great in it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I remember really enjoying the ending. The ending kind of surprised me, the way it kind of like wrapped around in a way. And I remember being like, on some of it, like being on like, oh damn, like where's this gonna go? This is kind of crazy. So I do remember it being better than I expected it to be, but still not like anything too amazing. But it was one of the sort of ones that were just kind of released on Shudder that I really enjoyed last year. One that I think stood out from a lot that were just released to Shudder.
Yeah, and I feel like, and were you kind of like the same as me, Info? Like Shudder kind of like had like took an off year last year when it comes to the Shudder releases, because I felt like 2022 they were like releasing banger after banger on Shudder. So did you think they would just kind of like took an off year from last year? You would think?
I mean, I don't really remember a whole lot that came out that was just straight to streaming last year. Like I remember this one. There's quite a like I remember seeing some, but I don't remember watching too many of them that were just like Shudder originals. Because sometimes they're not great. Sometimes they're just kind of like run of the mill.
No, and I agree with that. So, and I remember Influencer being like the first one on Shudder, and it was in May. I was like, damn, Shudder's now telling me a movie to be interested in May. When like 2022, I feel like it's every month they just say, hey, you better watch this or so forth. But I think Shudder's back on the right track now because they're doing a lot of theatrical releases with their Shudder movies and they're being popular. So I think they turned that around. And from my memory, you say you have not seen Wrath of Becky, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's see here. Want to get a special shout out to Kyle real quick. Kyle from Fled's Movies. What's going on, buddy? Well, and welcome back, my friend. Welcome back. And did you have anything else from 2023?
Nope.
Awesome. So with that in mind, that is pretty much it. Is there any other thing you want to talk about with other movies before I wrap everything up? Awesome. So let's go ahead and just do a quick summary of what we learned today with the worst movies of May. These are the ones that you should absolutely stay away from, according to the sources that I found with Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Letterboxd. For Rotten Tomatoes, from the critics' point of view, they telling you to stay away from Van Helsing. And for the rest of everything, they tell you to absolutely stay away from The Grudge 3. Don't do it. Even though I still will, just because of Shawnee Smith, but eventually. So yeah, stay away from these particular films. And for the best of May, we actually had a tie for first with the Rotten Tomatoes critics, that is, with Influencer and Drag Me to Hell with that 92%. And with the audience, with The Crow with a 90. But you should, and The Crow just dominates the rest of everything. Not surprised there. Everybody loves The Crow, and those are some of the best movies that we talked about today. So to wrap everything up, just want to say that we will be back on Back from the Dead next month. Let me re-get my calendar here, just so I'm not lying to you all. Let's see here. June the 9th is be the next time we will be Back from the Dead, talking about the horror movie anniversaries for June. And we got some big titles to discuss on that one. And then as soon as I end this particular stream, I am going to launch the button to publish the Back from the Dead merchandise on Good Will Hunting on Spread. The links and all of that will be in the description down below. So if you want to support the show Back from the Dead, you can get your merch right after I hit the end button of this particular stream. So Destiny, anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and close out here. We appreciate your all's love and support for this episode. We all hope you all have an amazing day, and we will see you all next month for Back from the Dead.